I want to show you how easy it is to make the perfect hanging basket for fantastic floral displays all summer long. All you need is 5 things. A good quality hanging basket, of course good quality compost for the plants to grow in, a slow release plant food when we're planting it, the most important of all, good quality plants, and afterwards a liquid plant food to keep the flowers going for the whole summer. With the amount of rain we get in this country, one thing that is very important, we leave some drainage holes in the basket. So just cut through the plastic lining here about 1/3 of the way up, because you want the basket to retain some water at the bottom, but you don't want it to get waterlogged. So about 1/3 of the way up the basket, just pierce some holes in the plastic so it can drain away. I'm using the probiotic compost Celtic Gold because it's very rich in nutrient, and bear in mind I'm going to be using a lot of plants. They're going to need as much feeding and as much nutrient as I can give them. So use a good quality compost. Don't skimp on it, because this is what the plants are going to be growing on. This is what's going to be giving you your colour during the summer. So about half fill it, and I'm going to mix some slow release plant food in with it as well, just really to give them all the nutrients that they need, overload them with nutrients. I got a tip many years ago about how to make the perfect hanging basket. I was about that high at the time, and they said, make sure you use enough plants, really cram it full of plants and feed, feed, feed. That's still true today, because the more you give them, the more they're going to flower and the better your display is going to be. This is what's called a slow release or controlled release plant food, which means quite simply that it'll let the nutrients out and feed the plants over the next 6 months. It doesn't give it to them all in one go. Now, the most important decision, of course, is which plants to use in my hanging basket. There are so many available. All the kind of frost tender perennials and half-hardy perennials, and these will all be plants which are termed as patio plants nowadays, that will work in hanging baskets, window boxes, all these kind of patio containers, but there are so many to choose from. Starting off with the old-fashioned favourites like the trailing begonias, and there's no right and wrong on this. You might want a basket full of all of the one colour plant. Nothing wrong with that. You might be like me, a bit chaotic and want all the different colours going on. I kind of change every year with which I want. It's totally up to yourself. These are a few that'll work. The begonias are all going to flower right into the first frost at the tail end of the year, October, November. Feed them well, water them regularly. They're going to keep going till then. It's always nice to put in some foliage interest. That's a lovely gold-leafed variegated ivy. That's going to trail down the side, and when you have the riot of colour going on, hopefully, it's nice to have the bit of foliage to soften it. Of course, you can't beat the Surfinia petunias. Look at that, for what I call the Clonakilty effect. You know what I mean, the pubs in West Cork and the kind of west of Ireland with dripping with plants, the window boxes dripping. It's the Surfinia petunias that they use, and they're in such a wide variety of colours. You've this pink, you've this lovely, rich, purpley, dark blue. They come in all different shades between that as well. You've got white, red, you even get them in yellow and a kind of pale blue. Another lovely plant, I think, for hanging baskets is this blue bacopa. Lovely little small delicate flowers, and it'll really drip down the side of the basket. It's white fella, the same fella, but in white, is called snowflake, and I think it's very aptly named because when it's dripping down, it just gives the idea of kind of snowflakes falling out of the basket. You don't see any of the green, you just see the white. Then you've got the verbenas. This is a lovely kind of purpley lilac colour, mauvey, I suppose. Verbena, again, that'll just travel down the side of the basket. You have them here in a deep purple, a red, loads of different colours, and again, great plants to keep flowering, keep the interest going right into the autumn. Another old-fashioned favourite, the trailing geraniums, and what's not to love? I mean, they give such colour. You've got the lovely leaf, but the lovely colour. This is a trailing one that again will trail down the sides. You've also got upright geraniums, which might work as a centrepiece in the basket. And then look at this verbena, isn't this lovely? It's called Silver Magic. A lovely subtle pastel kind of colour, grey blue. It's nearly a hard colour to put a name on, but I just think it's absolutely lovely. I think I'm going to use that one for my basket today with a few others. And one that I couldn't be without is the Biden's Aurea. It brings that lovely bit of oomph, the bit of yellow into the basket, a real vibrant one, and it'll scramble through all the other plants. It'll really give a lovely effect. I'm going to have to take a couple of minutes to decide on which ones I'm going to use for this basket. So I'm going to start in the centre of the basket. The plant that I'm going to use as the centrepiece, which is going to give a bit of height, is the yellow Biden's Aurea. So I filled this with the good quality compost and the slow release food, so it should have the best of everything into the centre. It nearly fills it all on its own, doesn't it? But see, you want more than that. You want it to look really, really full. Now, as I say, colour is personal and it's up to you. You might want to work to no colour plan, or you might want all the same colour. You might want all blue or all yellow. This is the rich purple double Surfinia petunia. And again, just to give a bit of balance, I'm going to use the same plant on the other side. Now, when you're choosing your plants, it's very, very important that you get good quality plants. Look at the size of these plants. Look at the size of it in my hand. Look at the size of the pot that it's in. A real big, good quality plant. Good, decent root system without being pot bound. The roots aren't too weak. They're not overly grown. You'll see them, if you see them with the leaves kind of yellowing or going off, the plants then, they're probably past their best. And it's such a short time. You have rather such a short time to get the best out of the basket. Don't use weak plants to start with. Get good quality plants. Ideally get locally grown plants, because then they're going to suit your environment. If you get something that's been grown hundreds or thousands of miles away and then you put them out into your garden and into the harshness of the Irish climate, beautiful sunshine one day and then lashing rain the next day, they may not survive if the plants have been grown in an artificial environment somewhere else. So do be careful that you're getting good quality plants. This is the white Bacopa snowflake, which is going to be the perfect foil now to the rich blue of the purple Surfinia. And again, good strong plants. You've got to remember that you want to get such colour out of this all summer long, right into the autumn. It's got a very limited root reservoir, if you like. I'm putting 8 or 9 plants in here. They all have to feed from this bag of compost. I'm going to use the Verbena Silver Magic, just because I love it. It's a new plant on me this year, not the Verbena, but this particular variety. I just love the colour. It's nice and soft. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use another one on the other side. Plant from South Africa originally, the Verbena, but it does very well in our climate. You'll actually get them to survive from year to year as well. If you wanted to bring them in for the winter in particular, you'll have no problem. Now that's nearly full, but I do want a bit of foliage interest. Now I showed you the ivy, but this is one called Nepeta. It's variegated Nepeta, related to the plant that we call catmint. It's a lovely smell. It's a lovely minty smell off it. There is a little pink flower on it later on in the summer, but the reason I'm growing it is it's going to really give great foliage, scrambling down the side of the basket and through the other plants. Just going to soften the whole effect, if you like. You're going to have to find room to squeeze it in. I've used so many. But as I say, that tip I got when I was about 4 years old, squeeze the plants in, use enough plants, feed it regularly and feed it well, and you will get the best results from your hanging basket. Nothing looks worse than a basket that's, depending on your outlook in life, half full or half empty. I think it's not worth doing at all unless you're going to do it properly and get it good and full. So the 5 things to remember again were good quality basket, good quality compost, a slow release plant food, of course choose colours and plants that you like but that are good quality. And the last thing, of course, to remember when you're finished is to water it and give it lots of regular liquid plant feed. That's the finished product. That's going to give such a blast of colour hanging outside the front door. I think she'll be happy when I get home. Now the last job, of course, is water it with a bit of liquid feed. Now a lot of people will swear by tomato food for flowers and hanging baskets and window boxes and things like that. I discovered this Liquid Gold a couple of years ago. It's another probiotic liquid feed, and it's organic and it has all the nutrients and hormones that we're going to need. It's very straightforward. A capful into a litre of water. So I have 2 litres in here, so just 2 capfuls. I'm going to do this about once a week, once a fortnight. I just find it a fantastic product to get good healthy growth going. And just pour it onto the basket. Now how easy could that be? You thought gardening was difficult? What did that take? 5 minutes?